Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got something really exciting on the bench, the CHIGEE AIO 6 Max, an all-in-one smart dashboard for motorcycles. You know I love riding classic bikes like my Royal Enfield Meteor 350, but I also love smart tech that actually makes riding safer and much more fun. This device promises real-time data, built-in dash cams, a tire pressure monitoring system, and even a wireless OBD module that shows what's going on under the tank. All in one sleek 6-inch touchscreen. But is it all just flashy features, or does it really deliver on the road? Today I'll show you exactly what's in the box, how the installation works, and we'll take it out for a real test ride to see if it's worth upgrading for your bike. Okay, so let's start the unboxing. You have a manual here, of course. This is a new unit, definitely a difference to the AIO 5. Feels very robust, and of course it's bigger. It's a 6-inch now instead of the 5-inch. Okay, there's already a lot of stuff in here. So we have some cable ties. This is the standard ball mount. Of course there are some special tools to install it. And this is a handlebar mount. In this part here there gets this small ball mount here, and these are the cables for the device, and this USB-C connector goes down here into the unit, and then you have the cables for power and for the cameras, and here is the power cable. So this here is a quick release kit, and this is one big difference from the AIO 6 to the AIO 5. I mounted the AIO 5 with this installation kit here and the small ball mount on my handlebars, but it has to stay there. And now the big difference is you can take the unit with you. So this means the mount will be installed on your handlebars and you connect it with this quick release kit here. Let's see what's inside. So this is the quick release unit, and this quick release mount has to be installed here on the back instead of this mount. So you just push the button and then you can take off the unit with this quick release here on the back. This adapter here stays on the bike, and of course you have a cap to protect the electronic contacts. Now you don't have to leave your CHIGEE on your motorcycle. You can install this quick release mount here and then you can take the unit with you. These are the cameras, front and rear. So the CHIGEE AIO 6 has a dash cam function. This means you can record the signal of these two cameras, front and rear. Oh, they feel very solid, made out of metal. There's a small arrow here on the top. This is a marker for the top direction of the camera. Here are the mounts for the cameras with some M3 stickers. I will install the cameras too and show you the functions later. Then I have a remote control. You can use a remote on your handlebar just in case you don't want to use the touchscreen. If you want to install the CHIGEE AIO 6 on a second motorcycle, for example, I can install it on my scooter and on my motorcycle, and I can use the same unit. Then you need a quick release base. It comes with the same cable and the quick release itself. But you also have a second mount inside, which you can use to install this quick release. And then you can mount the second quick release on a second motorcycle and switch the unit from one to the other with the quick release mount. This is an amazing feature for the new AIO 6, which the 5 didn't have. We have an OBD sensor, and this is quite interesting. My Royal Enfield Meteor 350 doesn't have any ref counter or temperature gauge, nothing. With this OBD sensor, it should be possible to connect it to the Meteor with this OBD connector. This is a standard Euro 5 OBD connector. And then there's a sensor here which sends all the signals of the engine to the monitor. And if this works with this OBD connector on my Royal Enfield, then I have a ref counter and a temperature gauge, I think voltage too. So what else do we have? We have a bigger ball mount. This is the 1-inch standard ram mount ball mount. I will use the bigger ball mount. This is the 1-inch standard ram ball mount for my scooter because there's already a ball mount installed. And last but not least, there are the external tire pressure sensors. You can also get some internal tire pressure sensors now from CHIGEE. So this will be installed too, so that I have the tire pressure warning from the unit. So now I have the 1-inch ball mount attached to the quick release mount. This will be installed on my handlebar, and then I can just take the unit, click it inside, and that's it. And every time I leave the bike, I can take the unit with me. Of course, the standard installation would be the small ball mount, which you can use to install it with this handlebar mount here. This gets on the back. Very simple, very easy. So you can switch the unit from one bike to another, just get an additional quick release base with a mount for your second bike, and then you can use the unit on several bikes. Great feature. So everything is unboxed, everything is ready for installation. So let's go out and install everything on the motorcycle. Now I will install the bracket of the AIO 6, the quick release bracket, which has this mount here too. The ball mount, this one goes in here. So I cannot use the standard bracket here because of the mounts of the windscreen. The distance is too close. So I use my RAM mount here. Now I just can attach the quick release. And this RAM mount clamp is a special one with this special key here. So it's not possible to take it off if you don't have this key. So I check if it's the right angle. So here is the wire for the battery, maybe down there. Yeah, then I will cable tie everything. So the red cable is for the power supply, number one. And these two cables are for the front and rear camera. So I have to take off the side cover here. Oops. So this should be quite easy. I will take off everything so that I can reach the contacts. Red for red and black for black. I will put the yellow cable so that it gets a signal down here. 25 main fuse ignition system. So I will take out the fuse of the horn. Fuse back in. This should be okay. Let's do a test. So there we are. It works. Bring the cable together with a cable tie. It's a little bit too long. So I will route it here, there, like this. This should be fine. So, cable tie. So next step is the OBD sensor. And here you can find the connector. Take the cover off and it goes in here like this. Click, there we are. Now we are installing the cameras. This is cam B. And I have a cable here, cam B. This is B. Second camera, cam A. This is for the front. And here is the connection for cam A. Goes in like this. Perfect. Simple as that. Number one. That's a good place here. Down there. Okay. So let's find a place for the rear camera. Route the cable maybe here. Yes. Yeah, putting the cables in the perfect position is always a little bit fiddly. take some time. That looks nice and clean. OBD pair. This should be my OBD. Kilometers per hour. Connected, and now the OBD should be completely, the light here should be blue, and it is blue, so it's connected. Perfect. Okay, so let's have a look at all the features of the CHIGEE AIO 6. This is a small case that I also have for the CHIGEE. This comes very handy if you want to put your display somewhere in your bag. Fits right in here. Then I have the most important tools here with me. And then very easy, just click it into place. Clack. That's it. It feels really steady on the mount here. Okay, so let's turn on the ignition. And here it is. This is the view with the front camera. Of course, you can turn it around to the rear camera. This means my smartphone is connected, so you have all the features here: music, Spotify, Google Maps, Kalimoto, all the apps that you need. This is the view of the rear view camera, and you can switch it around. And this is the front. Very high quality. If you look at the camera, looks very nice. And if you are in this camera view, then you also have the tire pressure here. So let's go back. Then you have another view here. This is a second view. You have your OBD sensor here, speedometer, RPM. You have a rev counter, total kilometers, range, the IAT and the engine temperature. IAT means the intake, air temperature, and engine temperature, voltage, tire pressure, and the lean angle. So you get a lot of information here. Here's the view just with the lean angle, and you have the main view with the speedometer. So let's go for this view here and start up the engine. And this is what is really cool now. You finally have a rev counter on your Royal Enfield Meteor. Here you can see the voltage, 14.2, 13.8, engine temperature. Okay, so let's go for a ride and see how it looks outside. So the display itself, if you go on display, has an auto brightness function. You can see here, if I turn it up, this is the brightness, 2000 nits. Okay, let's go for a small test ride, and I will have a look at how this display works in bright sunlight outside. So let's see how the monitor handles bright sunlight. Works with gloves perfectly. Display is not even at full power. Now it's at full power, but we'll leave it on automatic. But it's really direct sunlight now on the display. So let's go for this view here to test the rev counter. There it is. Yeah, works good. 3000 RPM now. And now we go for the camera. So the front camera. I have a little bit of the fender here in the picture. Looks funny with the reflections. Swipe up. Then you can see it's recording at the moment and can stop recording. Now switch to the rear view. So a little bit like a rear mirror. Yeah, and if I compare the rear view with my mirrors, then you can see much more of course in the back, but also to the sides. So this is also a security feature. You can use it as a rear view mirror. And you have some more information when you swipe up. Average speed, riding distance, maximum speed. So rev counter 3300 RPM, 78 degrees Celsius engine temperature, and the air intake temperature is 47 degrees. So here's a little bit more shadow. Let's see how the display changes the brightness. Yeah, it works very good. So it's always a pleasant brightness of the display, perfect visibility, and even this is a classic bike. If you are traveling, this Apple CarPlay is absolutely amazing. Gives you all the features that you need. You can listen to your music, take phone calls. So let's go back to the information view. Speed, tire temperature, altitude 29 meters. Then let's go for the next view. This is the OBD view. Speed, RPM, the air intake temperature, engine temperature, PSI, voltage. I think this is a good view here if you want some information about your engine. Okay, so handling of the display is amazing, very responsive. The brightness is fantastic, 2000 nits, even in bright sunlight, perfect visibility. A lot of features with the cameras, with the tire pressure sensors, with all the engine informations if you are using the OBD sensor, and especially with bikes like the Royal Enfield, where you don't have any rev counter or engine temperature. This gives you all the information that you need. So perfect add-on, a great update, especially for me when I'm traveling. I think I will leave it on my bike. And this quick release system, this is absolutely amazing. You can take off the display, take it with you, and you don't have to be afraid that it's stolen. So all in all, CHIGEE AIO 6, big upgrade over the 5, and my double thumbs up. So in my opinion, the CHIGEE AIO 6 is a very good upgrade from the version 5. Of course, the price point is a little bit higher, but you have a lot of features, amazing build quality, the brightness of 2000 nits. So a lot of features, and especially compared to the AIO 5, I will stay with the 6 now. I will put all the links down in the video description, and I hope you liked this video today. And if you did, please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and cheers.